Welcome to the High Level Playbook Podcast. In 20 minutes or less, the show delivers the mindset shifts, the frameworks, and strategies that will help you upgrade how you think, lead, and perform. And this podcast is built for high achievers who refuse to stay where they are. And I am all about building leaders for what's next. So, as I mentioned earlier, this is my first Substack live. I am very excited to be on Substack. For those that are looking to follow me, I'm going to drop it in the show notes in Substack. This is where I share my values here in writing form. So I would love to invite you all to join me. And today we're going to talk about how to do more in less time. One thing I always hear people say, I don't have enough time, but yet a lot of people are really busy. So I want to start with a quote. It says, in the absence of clearly defined goals, we become strangely loyal to performing daily trivia until ultimately we become enslaved by it. This is a quote for Robert A. Heinlein. And if you really look at it, there's a lot of truth to it. I live in a big city in Los Angeles, California, and everyone is so busy to be busy. It's almost like if you're not busy, you're not successful because everyone is really busy. So that's a paradigm, that's a belief, that's a habit, right? And I hear people say this a lot. I need better time management. I can't get anything done. But guess what? I got something for you. High performers, they manage their energy, their focus, the decisions they make, and the activity. The real problem is not time. It's a distraction. It's the distraction, the misalignment, and the low value work. And today, I'm going to share the exact mindset and the systems that I use to do more in less time. So if you're looking to do more in less time, follow this, take note, pause this, because you're going to want to write this down and you're going to want to apply. This is what I teach my clients and also for myself. So the first thing is get clear on one thing. It is so easy for us to be doing 20 things at once because with technology, we could have 23 screens opening. And we're doing this, we're doing that. A message could be coming in, and then you're scrolling social media. You know, how many of you guys can relate to that? But focus on doing one thing to create the compound effect. High performers focus on the one needle moving outcome. What is the one thing that you do that's going to take care of everything else? Right? I know if you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, you're a high achiever, you're watching this, you're probably thinking, okay, well, there's so much I need to do. Yeah, I get that because I am one too. But think about the one thing that you're good at and the one thing that you know you will be happy to spend the rest of your life doing. I only say the rest of your life because I love what I do and I don't plan to retire. I plan on doing this until literally the last day of my life. This is my legacy. This is what I'm set to do. This is my commitment for myself. So the one thing for me is to get out, to be able to speak more, to get more visibility. And I'm working on that every single day. There are going to be things that I am putting my hands on right now because this is my business. But the goal is to always to delegate out. Right? Everything is a process. Nothing's going to be perfect. But focus on that one thing that works for you. Everyone is going to be different. And remember, the one thing that you focus, it's going to create a snowball effect. It's going to create a compound effect. It's going to go ahead and take care of everything that you are set to do. And I'm saying this assuming that you have a clearly defined goal because most people, they don't have a goal. Actually, 97% of the people on this planet don't have a clearly defined goal. When you do have a clearly defined goal, then you know where you're heading, you know what you're focused on, and you are moving the needle to your final destination. Right? One question that is great to ask you is, what is the one thing that makes everything else easier or irrelevant? Just remember, 80% of the results come from 20% of the action. 80% of the results come from 20% of the action. One thing that I realized for myself is there's a lot of tedious and admin stuff that I don't really need to do. I could delegate it to someone. And another thing that for me that worked really well is I don't like to clean. Every time I clean, my energy is sucked out. I love living in a clean house. If you come to my house is clean, but I delegate that to the cleaners. They do it better than me. So yeah. So then I can focus the same amount of energy and I could then focus on my work and building my craft. Right. So these are the stuff that you want to be looking into your calendar, you know, and the key here is identify your needle mover. That is the biggest thing. What is going to help you move the needle for you? And if it's not moving the needle, then it's a distraction. Then you could go ahead and cut it out, which leads me to my next point. Declutter your activities. Okay, so most people, a lot of people actually try to optimize things that they shouldn't even be doing. Again, it's that busy to be busy, right? I used to feel like there's all these knickknack I need to be doing. I'm a mother. I run my own business. I'm going out there coaching people. I'm traveling, I'm doing events. There's all this stuff. But one thing I realized is there's a lot of things I don't have to. And it could be as simple as like washing the dishes. I just put everything in the dishwasher. It could be, for my social media posts. Sure, I would do it myself too. Absolutely, because I want my voice to be out there, but I could delegate someone else to put it in the system. Right? So, how are you optimizing your time? Remember, we all have 24 hours a day. We have the same as everyone else. But yet some people, they achieve a lot. And some people, they're just so busy doing 5 businesses and nothing is going off the ground. So the key here is focus, determination, and discipline. Okay. And one of the very, very important questions that I invite you to ask yourself is this going to help me produce results? If it's not going to help you produce results, remove that task. Okay. Remove the tasks that don't produce results. And I always like to say this: focus on revenue generating activities. Revenue generating activities, because everything that we are serving, there is an exchange of service. Money is a reward. Excuse me. Money is a reward. And the higher you're getting paid, that means the more value that you are giving, right? So everything that you are doing, ask yourself, is this going to help me generate revenue? I always like to look at the sales and marketing. Yeah, those are going to bring in revenue. So if you're an author or an author to be, focus on writing the book, right? And then get out there, go out and network. These are revenue generating activities. I just got on a TED Talk. Yay, that's my win. But it took time. It took a lot of time to work on my talk, to understand who I am, to even find the right events and pitch. And along this way, I have got a lot of rejections, but I got better and better. And in fact, the next Substack article that I am publishing on Substack is going to be my journey in the TED Talk, what I learned, what I didn't learn. So if you are inspired to be a TED Talk speaker, I invite you to come in and subscribe. All right. So the key here is stop doing things that drain your energy. Remember, high performance, they don't manage time, they manage energy, they manage activities. So these are all very important. Have you ever worked so hard and you feel like you're burning out and you're doing the work, but the results were not there? Right? I know when I'm high vibe, you give me 5 hours of work and I'm deep in it. That's but when I'm tired, when I'm drained, when I'm not focused, 5 hours, I would try to check the checklist, but I really am not getting anything done to have the results that I want. Okay. So a few examples is unnecessary meetings. Ask yourself, this is meeting really, really important? Is it going to take me somewhere? Is it a waste of time? Who is this person? Can someone else take the meeting? Have we talked about it before? Overthinking. Overthinking is a big one. It is so easy to sit here and overthink. I used to do that. And what I've learned is now I stop overthinking. When I overthinking, I catch myself. I'm like, you know what? Let me get my ass up and let me just go do it. Because I know when I actually take action on it, I'm getting feedback, whether it's working or it's not working. But it's better than sitting here and think, right? The endless growing. I think a lot of us have this a guilty pleasure, the endless growing. Hey, I do that and I am very guilty of that. But when I catch myself, I replace it with a new habit, and that's reading. Remember, when you change a habit, you replace it with a new habit. Perfectionism. Again, this is something that used to suck my energy out. Everything had to be perfect. Even when I do this podcast, but I realized, you know what? Just go out there, just go practice, do the reps, because I'm only going to get better and better and better. Right? So these are the things that you want to think about. And then the third one is this is the part that I love. Create a rhythm in your schedule. Look at your schedule and create a rhythm. Everyone's going to be different and you want to be power blocking. So what does that mean? Every time when I am writing an article, when I'm putting materials to coach my clients, when I'm putting together a speaking engagement, a keynote, I need to be in my rhythm. I need to be in that mind where I am absolutely undisturbed. So I may block out one whole day, content day, and I'm just here. I'm creating content. I'm putting my keynote together, and there's no distractions. Or that could be my morning. And then whatever coachings that I have with my clients, I usually schedule them out in 1 or 2 days. Those are my coaching days. And then there are my sales and marketing days. But when I'm able to balance it out, I have a rhythm. I know where my energy is. And the thing is, like, don't multitask. Okay. Multitask reduces 40% of your productivity. So in 1 hour where you could get a lot of things done, you're really getting like half of it done, right? 50, 60%. I know when I get distracted, when I come back to it, I have to take some time to get back into the zone. So when you create a rhythm in your schedule, every single one of us have different profession. Understand, itemize, like, what do I need to do? Like, do I need to be in the computer? Do I have to think? Do I have to do outreach? Do I have to go out to events and market? Whatever that is, create a rhythm in your schedule. So I'm going to give you one example that could work for you, but you gotta figure it out on your own. So for example, morning, you might want to do the deep work in your morning because that's when you're most clear, right? That's where you could do all the thinking. You could start scheduling your meetings in the afternoon, all the scheduling, all the communication, anything you need to talk to people. It takes more energy. It's a different kind of energy, but you might want to schedule in the afternoon. And then the evenings are the best for creative and reflection work. But again, you create something that works for you. And I would also invite you to add in a workout because high performers, they work out. All the ones that I know, they spend time, they work out, they take care of their body. I am a yogi, and that's what I love to do. Yoga is where I think. Yoga is my time. Yoga is where I take time to focus on myself. Okay, self-care. And when you protect your brain, you're protecting it for the best hours. So protect your brain for the best hours. When you create a rhythm, you're protecting your brain. So when the hours that you are putting in, the miracle hours that you're putting in the work, now you're maximizing your potential. You're maximizing your brain power. You're getting more done in the same amount of time. I like to say that's compressed time. And that becomes very valuable because we only have 24 hours in a day. And guess what? Once time is gone, you don't get it back. Okay. The fourth one of the biggest time killer is indecision. Should I do this? Should I do that? Let me think. Have you guys ever been on Netflix and you're scrolling and you're trying to figure out what show you want to watch? Right. I go through that. So I just end up hanging up. Meaning I just shut down Netflix. But indecision is a thing. And the thing is, high performers, they move fast because they know what they want. They're true to themselves. They make decisions quickly and they're able to adjust later. Remember earlier I said, don't be a perfectionist. Here's one thing I learned. Take messy action. It is okay to take messy action because you're moving the needle. You're taking action. I could sit here. I could give you the best plan ever, but if I don't take action on it, it's of time, right? So decision makers, they make decisions quick. And if you're watching this and you're a high performer and you have a clear goal, you make your decisions based on the goal. The way how I make my decision is I always ask, is this taking me closer to my goal or is this taking me away? I actually have a decision point. Let me just get it. And it says on track, off track. By me making this decision, and sometimes it could be a very tough decision, is it going to take me on track? If that's yes, that's how I make my decision. If it's no, then I don't. I like to touch something because this is where my thinking happens. This is where I'm very serious. I'm also communicating to my brain that I'm going to make a decision. So let me figure this out right now. Okay. So high performers, they make decisions fast. And I always say, be the decision maker of your own life. I have a whole article on decision and how it helps you, not just your leadership, but also your mental health and how the mind works. So if you haven't subscribed to either my podcast or my Substack, I invite you to do so because I will be releasing it really soon. All right. The fifth one is leverage systems and AI. We live in the world of AI. Leverage them. Okay. You don't win by working harder. That just doesn't work anymore. I love telling the story of a fly trying to fly through a glass. glass window and it keeps bumping into the glass. But all I had to do is take some time, take a few steps back. There's a crack in the window and fly through, right? That I use that to teach quantum leap. And one of the things for us to achieve results is a system. So you don't have to work harder, but you do need a system that's going to help you. You win by building leverage. So one thing, we do live in the world of content right now. You create a system to repurpose your content. You could use AI to draft out the ideas, even for emails. You could batch content creation, whatever that is. Create a system for everything that you need, because right now, when you're very focused and with the tools that we have at our fingertip, we could do so much more than we can 5 years ago. So absolutely leverage that. And the key is to build once and use it many times. That's a key. So here's the thing here. Here's an identity shift that I want to invite you to step into. Okay. Many people are stuck in the identity of overwhelmed, busy, reactive. Always overwhelmed. They're always so busy to be busy. It's never enough time. And when things happen, they're reacting to it. But here's the thing. High performers operate from the identity of they're focused, they're strategic, they're decisive. Okay. When I say strategic, you got to have an end goal. When you have a goal, you have a roadmap. For example, I live in Los Angeles. If I'm going to go in New York, right? I just need to know the direction. I could come out the plan. I could fly there. I could drive there. I could take the train there. I could take the bus there. There's so many ways to come out with a strategy, but we got to know where we're going. And the identity, you can never outperform your identity. That's the most important thing. High achievers, high performers, they win because they expect to win. They know they're going to win. They don't know the how, but they're focused. So that is a really important thing. When you look at your schedule, focus on what needs to get done so you could achieve the results that you want. Productivity isn't about doing more tasks. It's about how to prioritize and doing what matters. Okay. Doing what matters. Tomorrow morning, ask yourself 3 questions. What is the one needle moving task that you can do? Ask yourself this. Write this down. What is a one needle moving task? What can I eliminate today? Look at your schedule and look at how you're spending your time. What can I eliminate today so I can create more time and space for what I need to do? And what will I protect as my deep work block? Okay. What do I need to protect in my working hour? What rhythm am I creating? Right? Do you need some time to create content? Yes. If that's a yes, then you focus on that. Okay. So remember, the people who win in life aren't the busiest. They're the ones who focus on what actually matters. So if you're listening to this, ask yourself what matters the most to you and put all of your attention on that. So if you like what you heard so far, I would so appreciate if you go ahead and subscribe to my podcast, my YouTube, and even here on Substack. This is my first Substack Live, and there will be many more to come. Invite a friend who you know could benefit from this. I would so appreciate that, because this also allows me to do the work that I love. And one of my goals is to empower 1 million leaders around the world. And until the next episode, I will see you then. Bye, guys. And hi to the people that actually joined me live.